So a young mistake by Jay Barker. If he puts airtime on, that's going to be a tough play for Kelly to make, but give Kelly credit. I mean, that's his 4th pick. This guy is around the football.
So Jay Barker throws up the first interception.
I think you saw coaches say to him, you know, like, airtime.
Yeah, get it up a little bit.
Airtime.
Williams is fast, but Kelly made the play. This is Eric Blunt trying the other side this time. Good for about 4 yards. Nice first down run by Blunt earlier. Wrapped up by Bonner that time. He is the all-purpose leader in yards, 977 coming into the game.
Well, I've always been a big fan of his since he broke into the league with Edmonton in such a flurry. I think he had over 1,000 yards in a very abbreviated season his first year in Edmonton. And, you know, sometimes every player needs a bit of a change, and that was the case for Eric Blunt.
Gain was only 3. This is 2nd and 7. Mason found Mihalik. I think he was looking for Millington, but he found number 66, Mike Mihalik.
Mike says, what are you doing? I can't catch.
And he proved it.
You throw it to another guy. Here's Mihalik. He's 66. There he is right there. Watch this, right in the head.
Millington, I think, was the target. At least he was eligible.
You know, John, I mean, I don't want to be a broken record here, but we have like 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Kevin Mason is yet to run the football once.
Sprinted out a couple of times.
And if he sprints out like that on 2nd and 6, you know, he's got to do it. The longer he waits, I mean, Joe Powell, they've got to have a chat with him because his greatest strength will be running, not throwing.
Knuckleball field goal try that's good by Troy Westwood. So a long, low kick, but high enough to clear the uprights. Or to clear the crossbar and split the uprights. Westwood has the Bombers on the board. It's 3-0. Troy Westwood's 52-yard field goal has the Bombers on top by 3 points at Skydome. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Troy Westwood 9 of 12 already this year. You look at bright spots on an 0-5 team. Certainly his play has been solid.
And a lot of other field goal kickers in the league have really been struggling.
Boy,
4 of them, McLaughlin, Baker, Pasaglia, Prefontaine, all hitting on less than 50%.
I think Prefontaine's, though, is a little misleading because he's tried some awfully long kicks outside of 50.
Watch the dribble!
Ready for Westwood's kickoff after the 3-pointer. Interesting formation finally takes shape. Westwood keeps it low. Sherman Smith across the 25. Nice return. He's out to the 35, 36-yard line. Let's bring in David Amber at the Bomber bench.
Yeah, thanks, John. Basically, the story is right now Joe Powell is talking to Kevin Mason, and he's telling him, like you're saying, you can't get into these 2nd and long situations. You're not giving the offense a chance. You're depending too much on the defense. So right now they're going to try and get him, I think, like you're saying, run the ball a bit more and see what happens there.
Well, they've got nothing to lose by trying it, really.
Would be a good idea.
Kerwin Bell has struggled so far in the opening quarter for the Argonauts. First down. He has Mitchell again. That'll be a first down out at the 50-yard line. Elberg is in and was in on the tackle. So Elberg moving into a safety spot. That means Maurice Kelly moves up into a linebacker's role, or Elberg comes in as a 7th DB.
Yeah, they're throwing 7 DBs right now. You watch Brad Elberg. He's going to come into your screen. I mean, he is a trained killer back there. He has one thing on his mind when a receiver catches it in his territory. I mean, he wants to inflict some pain, and he is learning on the job training as a former running back.
On first down, Bell fakes it to pinball. And then look for Smith, who took a big hit from Carthon. A couple from Carthon so far tonight. Smith couldn't hang on. So Bell is good on 4 of 7 so far.
And the Bomber defense that Jeff Reinbold is in charge of has done a nice job here in this first quarter because, you know, they've said, hey, we know you don't like to run very much, so we're going to put these 7 defensive backs in. We're going to get great coverage, and we're going to see if you can beat us with that. And so far, Kerwin Bell only 4 of 7 and not a great deal of yardage. So the Bombers' game plan is working.
Winnipeg has the lead only by 3, however. 2nd and 10 for Bell and the Argonauts. Bell buys a little extra time. Now takes out. Got got away from one tackle and then took a pretty good hit down there, coming up short of the first down. Joe Fleming had an opportunity and missed in the backfield. But Bell takes off and comes up short.
Well, you're going to see it's only a three-man rush. They fake everybody coming, but Wesley Leasley drops out, and you know, you're putting 9 people back in coverage, and Bell just can't find anybody. I mean, this is a Toronto team that likes to run those short to intermediate routes, and you got 9 people in that 10 to 15-yard area. It's going to be tough for Bell, and I think they better make some adjustments with John Jenkins, their offensive coordinator, in a hurry, because somehow they're going to have to try to take advantage of 7 defensive backs in the game and maybe try to run the ball a little more.
Noel Prefontaine is in to kick it away for the Argonauts. Standing near his 42. Another deep one. Eric Blunt moves up to make the return. Reversing his field. It didn't work. Blunt grounded by O'Shea. Little or no gain on the return.
Well, when you're a guy covering punts for Noel Prefontaine, you have to love him. He averages almost 49 yards a punt, but what he does equally as well is get tremendous hang time. I watched him in the warm-up, and you know, Mike O'Shea coming down working as hard as ever. I can't believe how hard he works the special teams, but you know, Prefontaine is a terrific punter to go down and cover kicks for, because you know you're going to get down there with a lot of hang time.
First down, Blue Bombers. Beginning this drive at the Winnipeg 12-yard line. Thompson to the near side. Kevin Mason. Good fake to Blunt, and he had Thompson. Couldn't hang on. Tight coverage by Clifton Abraham, number 3. Thompson had an opportunity to make the catch, however.
As you're going to see this replay, and it's a good play action fake to get Mason outside. Now, you be the judge. Could he have? No, he couldn't have made a run there. Wiltshire was in perfect position. He had to throw the football, but watch a good push off here by Thompson. He still can't make the play. Here's the push right there. Just enough to get a little separation, but the ball behind him, he just couldn't squeeze it.
Would have been a great catch. 2nd and 10. Winnipeg from the 12. Thompson makes the catch and has the first down this time. Same coverage. Clifton Abraham forced him out.
Well, these are pretty easy reads. Toronto's coming with a lot of blitzes in this first quarter. Kelly Wiltshire was coming again, and get one-on-one outside with the rookie Clifton Abraham, and same route by Thompson, different formation and different type of action, but that time he's able to make the catch.
16 catches, 244 yards for Thompson coming into this one. Key first down to Winnipeg. Millington rounding it up the middle and ran into Todrick McIntosh, one of the newcomers to that Argonaut front 4.
The old Argos.
Argos, yes. Jermaine Haley, McIntosh side by side. Maxey is the veteran up there, and Maurice Miller over from Edmonton. Yeah, is the 4th member of the group.
You make a good point. I mean, that is 3 newcomers up front, and the Argonauts only have 3 interceptions, and I'm wondering if it's a direct reflection on the pressure that they're getting up front. The 2 usually kind of go hand in hand.
I think that's a good point. This is 2nd down and long. Mason can't find a target. Maxey in pursuit. Mason running and throwing and put it into the dirt. Trevathan had an opportunity to make the catch. Was there real estate out there for Mason or not, Leaf?
Well, there might have been. I don't know. He had Demetrius Maxey breathing down his neck. Watch Maxey initially inside, and then he's got great wheels to get to the outside and really, for all intents and purposes, put some pressure on Mason. I mean, it looked as though Mason was going to get out easily, but Maxey just did enough to string the play out and give his defense time to get back and react to the receiver they were recovering.
Argonauts kick it away again on possessions thus far tonight. A punt, a couple of turnovers, and another punt. So the Argos have not moved the football effectively. Sherman Smith lost the ball. The Argonauts get it back, I do believe, but Smith fumbled after about a 5-yard return on a 43-yard Bob Cameron punt. Bonner was there to recover it and save the Argos bacon there. So enter Kerwin Bell again.
Well, we'll see if they made some adjustments on the sidelines. The Winnipeg game plan has been very straightforward, and Toronto's had a couple of series to see it. Again, Winnipeg is coming in with 7 defensive backs, and you know, they're just saying, hey, you guys can beat us running, you know, so be it. There's John Jenkins in the booth, and I'm sure he's had some communication, and we'll see if they've been able to change anything.
Bell goes to the shotgun. He won't get it away. He does, actually. He was wrapped up. Brad Elberg was there, and then Bell fought him off and did finally throw the football, but it didn't cross the line of scrimmage, and a marker goes down. So Bell limping slightly after taking a couple of hits on one play.
Well, give Winnipeg credit. They've thrown a lot of different looks at Kerwin Bell in one quarter with their 7 DBs. Now they bring Elberg up on the line of scrimmage and blitz him instead of last time they were 9 back, 3 rush, and that's good. Keep them guessing.
There's no infraction on the play. Second down.
Flag dropped in error. On the final play of the opening quarter, the Blue Bombers have a 3-0 lead on the Toronto Argonauts as we send you to CFL Control for some thoughts from the guys on the football pen.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duthie.
All right, welcome back to CFL Live. You know, one of the trends in the CFL this year has been that scoring has been down. The defenses have often been dominant, and that is the case tonight. A 3-0 game after 1 quarter of play. And, you know, our key play of the first quarter is a defensive play. Jay Barker with a play-action fake. Looks like he's got a guy, but Chris, Mo says no.
Well, I really like this from Winnipeg. I think we talked earlier about the discrepancy in turnovers with the advantage towards the opponents of Winnipeg. The best thing about this play is he really laid out parallel to the line of scrimmage. Great individual play by Maurice Kelly.
Well, turnovers are going to be the key for Winnipeg to win this game, I think. But, you know, the reality on that play, Chris, was that Toronto got the matchup they wanted. Nigel Williams was deep. They had an opportunity for a big play, and Jay Parker just didn't make a good throw.
Chris, quick comment on Kevin Mason.
Yeah. I really was disappointed early, and I almost got worried that they weren't going to play to his strengths. But you saw as the second quarter progressed, they did a great job of putting him in open space. That's where Kevin Mason's at his best, James.
All right, now there is one other game tonight in the CFL. Let's get you to that score. It's a close one in Montreal. Montreal leading BC 11-10 is the score. Anthony Cavillo is in quarterbacking in place of the injured Tracy Ham tonight for the Alouettes. Jim Sandusky has a TD for BC, and Chris Armstrong, newly acquired Chris Armstrong, has one for the Owls. Now let's get you back to Skydome for second quarter action of our game. Here's Leaf and John.
All right, guys, Blue Bombers have the lead, but not by much. The Argonauts have struggled offensively, and Kerwin Bell has not been able to move the football team. The numbers thus far: and here's how they look so far.
There they are.
Yeah, I was waiting a little slow at the switch there. First downs, Blue Bombers 3 compared to 2 for the Argonauts. Rushing totals a little better for Winnipeg, I would guess, in some ways, but 20 yards is really
No, it's not earth-shattering. I mean, they have tried to establish that the 2 turnovers. Toronto gave it up on downs, and then, of course, the Jay Parker interception that our studio crew talked about.
Second and 10, Toronto at the 43. Bell is in trouble, got it away to pinball, and Mike Clemens turns it into a first down across midfield and inside Winnipeg territory. Biggest play of the night for the Argonauts. Battle finally put the stop on pinball, not easily, and leave it to pinball to get the Argonauts moving at least a little bit.
Well, there's pinball right there, and you watch when Kerwin Bell gets in trouble, he says, heck, I'm not the runner on this team, and although I could maybe get a few yards, I know somebody can do it a lot faster and a lot better, and his name is Pinball. That's a pretty good gain out of a play that looked like it was going nowhere.
Really did. It'll be first down. Argonauts at the 50. Clemens again. And Carter had him wrapped up after a couple of yards.
One thing different about Pinball this year, he's still catching the ball at the same type of pace that he did a year ago. But last year he only averaged about 8.9 yards a catch. This year he's up a little over 12 yards a catch after that last reception. And you know, that's one little thing in his game. He's had to get more downfield production and pick up some of the slack in losing Robert Drummond.
About 198 yards rushing for Clemens thus far this season. On second down, far side. He's the target again, and Pinball can't bring that one down.
Well, the difference in this game tonight for Toronto is they've had success last week working against the linebackers and just the normal defensive backs, but you get Pinball. He's matched up this time on Reggie Carthon, a true defensive back, and, you know, it's not the mismatch that you try and get normally. So, you know, Bell had to try to throw that low and away only where Clemens could get it, but this is a little different defense that Toronto's having to work against. A lot more speed in that Winnipeg defense tonight that Toronto played against the last few weeks.
And that'll make for an interesting matchup, the way the Argonauts line things up and like to spread it out.
Well, it will, and it's good coaching on Winnipeg's part to say, hey, this team doesn't run, so let's adjust our defensive game plan to try and give them more problems, which they certainly are.
No Prefontaine. High again, and fairly deep as Blunt has no play on it at the 1-yard line. Will Wisely give up a single point. I'm not so sure he didn't lose that somehow. On its height, coming out of the lights, but the Argonauts hit the board. It's 3-1 Winnipeg on CFL Live.
Well, in the middle of that circle is the head coach of the Blue Bombers, Jeff Reinbold. You have to feel for Jeff. I mean, this is his team. He's made his changes. He's 0-5, and he hasn't had the production, and he knows the heat is on, and he talked about what it's like right now.
We got such great fans in Winnipeg, and we've got such great people on our football team, and that everybody's frustrated with the fact that we haven't had success yet. That gnaws at me. That bothers me a great deal. In terms of, you know, fearing for your professional career, no. I'll be a football coach 2 more days, 2 more weeks, 2 more months, 20 more years. I don't know, but I'll be a man till the day I die, and I think that's what's most important to me, and that I handle myself and these players with the way I would want to be handled.
Reinbold getting a little bit of a break there, with Kevin Mason finally taking off and doing what we expected him to do a little bit more of so far this football game.
Wow,
20-yard gain there. That's what they were looking for.
Yeah, this is more like it here. Watch this. The fake influence is down here. And, of course, he's got lots of room to run. See, everybody, Todrick McIntosh, he's dead right now. Now there's all kinds of room. I mean, this is something that, you know, obviously I felt they should have been doing from the beginning. That is easy run, and he picks up serious yardage.
20 yards for a first down right at midfield for the Bombers, leading 3-1. Lots of time to go in the opening half. Mason will put it up. He's on target for another first down, as Long makes the catch and picks up better than a first down, about 16 yards.
And Ted Long really playing in a more normal position for him. He started the year at wide receiver, now moved into slot back, and, you know, that's the position he's more used to, originally a running back, but I felt like they were really misusing his talents when he was as a wide receiver. Much better at coming across the middle. He doesn't mind the traffic, although he's not a big guy, but all of a sudden now the Blue Bombers back-to-back first downs, and they've got something going. Pow saying,
That's
see?
it.
Play action and run it. I told you it would work.
It's an easy game.
I told you it would work. Gary Hoffman to Pow's left. Offensive line coach, and Harry Justvig, who has joined the staff, former coach for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Works with the quarterbacks, special teams.
When you look at Mason coming into this football game, he really has limited knowledge of the complete Winnipeg offense, according to Pow and everybody who's been schooling him in a quick bunch of classes since he joined the Bombers 3 weeks ago. So he doesn't have all the options available to him.
You know what, John? I really don't see that as a detriment, because I think with a quarterback like Kevin Mason, you would go in with a much abbreviated short list for your game plan anyway.
Well,
I think
agree with that, certainly.
Sprint out, roll out, the bootlegs, and I think a limited offense with him is not a bad thing anyway, even if he's been there for quite a while.
Well, that's what they were saying yesterday, possibly offering it up as a bit of an excuse, and this didn't work out. And, well, we've got a long way to go this football evening at Skydome. But Mason has done well last couple of plays, no question. Until then, looked like he took a little too long getting it into play, but then again, there might have been movement there. 4 seconds on the clock. On the 20-second clock here, so we'll wait for the official.
League of procedure, Winnipeg, number 62, still first down.
That's the left tackle, Chris Perez, obviously moving early then. So it'll be 1st and 15. Perez really wanted to play in this football game after being an Argonaut when he first arrived in Canada to play in the CFL. Bothered by a neck injury, though, for the last little while. Good play action fake, but here comes the heat now. Mason avoids the first wave from Maxey, takes out, and grabs about 4 yards.
Boy, Toronto's getting some really good push up the middle from Demetrius Maxey in this game. Here he is, the second guy in, and just follow him. I mean, he is relentless working against Mike Mihalik, and watch, he pushes. I mean, that is just sheer upper body strength, but he has had himself a heck of a first half. Doesn't have a lot to show for it, but certainly in the eyes of the coaches, when they watch the film tomorrow, they'll appreciate the effort that he's put into this first half.
Actually, only a gain of a couple. This will be 2nd and 13 for the Blue Bombers now. 4 receivers near side, and Millington gets the call on a drop play. It's very close to a first down when Millington is finally dragged down by Bonner, Antonius Bonner.
And this is a scary, I've always felt what a scary situation for a defensive back when Sean Millington takes it on a draw and gets into the open field. Great block on Mike O'Shea by Craig Hendrickson. And now the terror starts. I mean, look how low they go. You can't hit him high. I mean, he's 230 pounds, outweighs every defensive back that he'll play against. But a great block up front by Craig Hendrickson. That's the second one he's had, showing some tremendous speed and athletic ability for him tonight. But nice play on 2nd and long, and they're close.
And George D'Amico moves into that secondary to fill in for Lester Smith, who was shaken up a little bit. So we'll see if Mason has spotted that. On 3rd down, it's
I don't know.
Mason himself, and it's going to be very close. Wilshire has already had a whale of a football game.
Boy, it was close. Again, as the Winnipeg defensive line did to Toronto earlier, the Toronto front four gets really underneath. And there's no place for Mason to go. I think he picked it up, and yes, he did.
He had enough forward progress there, but he retreated a little bit, and that's when it looked like he might not have had the first down. However, he didn't make it by much. Either way you look at it on the replay. Mason looking at 1st and 10 at the Argonaut 27. Winnipeg leading 3-1. Good fake to Millington, and Mason takes out. Set it up with a great fake, and there's a marker down. O'Shea wrapped him up.
Well, they're going to get Ted Long for holding, and this play will come back. You know, you have to appreciate the effort he made in trying to make a block to spring his quarterback for a few extra yards, but he is going to get the penalty.
Holding. Winnipeg number 8. Still first down.
Holding against Ted Long. Upon further review, it looks like the correct call.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say.
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess my feeling after all these years is I don't like to see these drives stalled by something like that, so I wish they'd look the other way sometimes.
Sometimes when it didn't have that big an effect on the play.
Well, Winnipeg league leader in penalties. You see they have 4. Toronto's yet to have their first one tonight.
1st and 20. Long on the far side, wrapped up by Clifton Abraham, rookie out of Florida State, who's really been pretty solid on that corner, hasn't he?
They've gone after him a couple of times tonight with Larry Thompson. Thompson's caught 1 pass on it, but Abraham is so fast. Here he is. Watch how quickly he reads this, beats the block. Here comes the block of Millington. He gets underneath it with speed, wraps up, and makes a tackle. That's a heck of a play. I mean, you know, that quick screen to the receiver is only as successful as the block at the point of attack, and they didn't get it.
So this is 2nd and a whole bunch. Mason looks to put it up, won't get it away, lost the football, and the Bombers are lucky to get it back as Christopher Perez jumped on the loose ball. Mason hit from behind, and Perez saved the day.
Well, here's Todrick McIntosh, and this is nothing fancy, just outside on Chris Perez. Chris Perez is not at 100% tonight, and the speed of McIntosh, he just blows by Perez, and you know, lucky that he was able to make the recovery, but he's not at 100%, and that time McIntosh just blew by him.
Bob Cameron trying to get enough troops on the field, and with all the changes the Bombers have had to make, Jermaine Haley looked to be a little late arriving for the huddle. And that scares the heck out of a kicker when he knows he's a guy short out there, doesn't it?
Well, you let the clock run down is what you do.
Mike Clemens waiting for his first return of the ball game. Beginning at the 6. Couple of moves. But after a 43-yard punt, there's not much running room for Clemens. Kerwin Bell back on the field when we return to CFL Live.
Hope you're enjoying the football game here on TSN. Back to Skydome in a moment. Right now, some hockey news. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim have fired their vice president and general manager, Jack